And today I've got a really exciting guest because lately I've been talking about the importance of mentorships, finding coaches, even having consultants if you're like a business and everything. But, I'm totally excited to have George Wohar. Wohar, I imagine that's pronounced like with an accent in some way
No,
from,
no accent.
yeah,
Wohar.
okay. All right, Wohar
You could add an
fourth.
accent to it though if you want.
Is it Vohar? Like,
Oh, no, it's Wohar.
it's Wohar. Okay, cool. So George Wohar IV, and he is a millennial mindset mentor. And I think this is such a powerful podcast because when you could talk about like business and the tactics and all the different strategies and ideas all day long, but if you don't have some of the core things that relate to mindset, then you could be missing out on huge potential. So I'm totally glad to have you on, George. How are you?
I'm doing amazing, man. How you doing?
I am doing fantastic. And I had the opportunity to follow your story a little bit and learn about what you do through social media, through Facebook, seeing you post on different groups. And, I get an idea of, what you do as a mentor, helping entrepreneurs and helping them build better businesses, live better lives. So can you share a little bit about like how you got involved into that?
100%. 100%. So yeah, it's been a fun journey, man. It's been a very fun journey. My sophomore year, I dropped out of college. I was always entrepreneurial my whole entire life. Went to college just because it was the thing to do. So I went to college freshman year, party, got drunk, got hammered, joined a fraternity. That's what my freshman year consisted of. Sophomore year, completely stopped drinking, got into fitness, and I'm like, all right, a shift needs to occur. This level of discipline came upon me. I then dropped out and I started my business. I started my first business. Didn't do it the way I wanted to do. Failed. I got into it, quit very soon after. I then got into they didn't get into personal development yet. I then came across another mentor that I have because then I started kind of looking into like different things to learn, how to have self growth and self learning, and I started diving into that a bit. I started coming across different like entrepreneurs teaching different things, so I started to kind of pick up on that, and then I got into fitness. You better say something. You going good? Then we got into fitness and personal training, and then I turned that to an online training business. Had an online training business. Then I went to an event and I uncovered mindset. Speaker was talking about mindset and the power of the mind. This was back in 2015. And I was like, all right, this is interesting. And then I started implementing that with my fitness clients. I started talking about it on Facebook, posting a video a day. Again, this is back in 2015 before you had everyone everywhere. And I started implementing it and doing more of it, and people started asking me how I was getting into it and what I was doing and asking more about the teachings and stuff that I was doing. So I started creating courses and products for it. I then did that 2015, 16, 17, Millennial Mindset Mentor. That's where we're at. That's kind of what we were building there. End of 2017, I just felt this calling. We've helped a bunch of guys in those 3 years build their businesses, achieve tremendous levels of success through our trainings. Then I'm like, you know what? I feel a calling to do something. Like I feel a calling to step into something else. 2017, end of 2017, mid 2017, I left all social media. I deactivated all my social media accounts. Now, mind you, by the time I was 21 years old, I'm making $15,000 per month using social media, strictly social media. Built my business, continued to build my business using social media. Then I went shutting it all down. I don't know what I'm going to step into, but we're going to step into something. I then created businesses outside of social media. Real estate business, brought that to over $30,000 per month just within the first 5 months of having that, and just continued to grow that. And that's what I was focused on. End of 2019, I got back into the online space. I just saw the chaos of the online space and entrepreneurs getting into actually end of 2018. I saw entrepreneurs joining all these courses and all these programs and not getting results. And everyone's like, I don't know why I'm not getting results. And I'm like, all right, we know it's the mindset side of things. So let's come back with our brand and kind of help these entrepreneurs get the results that they want. Because the majority of the guys that come to us, they tried the other businesses, they tried the courses, but for some reason they didn't get results. And we know it's not just the strategies or tactics. The mental side of it is what's going to take you to the next level. So that's kind of been our focus, and that's what we do over here at Power and Purpose.
Amazing. Okay, so that was such a great summary of where you've been and how you got to where you are. So just talking about a little bit about your background and that college element, how you help a lot of people and entrepreneurs. So thinking about the value of a mentor, like do you think that how much further along, like did you have mentors back then, I guess, when you when you were going through those times where you were, I don't want to say struggling, but like when you were going through the challenges when you're like, should I stay in school? Should I not? And all those things. Did you have a mentor back then, or when
I
did this
didn't,
idea come about?
man. I didn't have a mentor. I was studying for my oceanography final my sophomore year. I'm like, why am I studying for an oceanography final right now? Like, when oceanography has nothing to do with my life and what I want to do. What is going on? Then it's funny, a Brian Tracy video popped up and he started talking about entrepreneurship. And I'm like, let me get back into it. But growing up my whole entire childhood, like I didn't have any mentors or people there. Like my childhood, I grew up single mother. My dad, and this is one of the reasons why I have power and purpose and why we specifically empower men to really step into that. My father, he was in and out of jail. He was doing drugs. I experienced that when I was younger. He's not doing that anymore, but I experienced that when I was younger, and I saw the pain and the chaos of someone not having discipline, someone not having control of themselves, someone not taking responsibility, what that played out. And I said to myself, in my mind, I'm like, I desire to be the complete opposite. I didn't specifically say that to myself, but deep down, that's what I felt. And that's why I continued to do the work I was doing. I started my businesses when I was like 10, 11, 12, raking leaves, shoveling snow, just doing all that stuff. Because of that led me, my pain led me to my greatest power. And that's the beauty, because a lot of people ignore their pains, ignore the sadness, the anger, their feelings, their emotions. But when you can actually tap into that and uncover that, you use that for so much power. That's your fuel. That's your fuel right there. And that's another thing that we help guys do, is really tapping into that.
Yeah, that's incredibly powerful. Now, what I really appreciated about what you just said is this idea of seeing a Brian Tracy video, and I think that what can happen, as you know, in general, just like growing up. And I'm not saying this is everybody, but you know, a lot of people can miss out on having that mentor if they don't know where to search, or you know, they grow up, you know, they go to college, and you know, they still don't have like a purpose. But you know, what you were able to find, it sounds like, was from maybe that single video, or you know, a combination of both your that video and your life experience and just what you were going through with oceanography and your interests. You know, you're able to find that drive and that momentum to do something different. So just out of curiosity, you know, you did do a quick like explanation of like the business that you're able to start successfully. Now, like when you started and you had just left college and you were getting over that slump or whatever, I don't know if you were in a slump, but you know, was there a time like a transition, or was it just like, hey, I know I'm ready to just take on the world, take on businesses? What was that like?
So I always had this drive in me that I'm ready to take shit on. Like when it's go time, it's go time. There is no holds bar. Like I'm all in. I'm all in. When I dropped out of college, as soon as I dropped out, or not, as soon as I stopped. So I dropped out. Sophomore year ended. Then I started my business. I started an auto detailing business. That was the first thing I got into. I went hard as hell. I'm doing this, doing this, doing this. Auto detailing cars, like great. I didn't like cars. I didn't like cleaning cars. It sucked. So I was like, I can't do this. There's something about it. That gap right there. As soon as I realized that didn't work, there was a moment in time where I can recall so vividly me standing in the shower with my head against the wall and just tears falling down my face and going, what is this next step for me? Like, what is the next step? What is the next commitment that I need to make to myself? What is going to get me to where I want to go? Do I have to go back to school? I didn't want to go back to school. And that at that point, I realized something needed to change. I needed to learn something different. I needed to learn from other people, because I realized I didn't have all the knowledge that I needed. I didn't know what I was going to do next. And that's when I started to invest more into entrepreneurship communities and invest into my personal development and uncover people. And I've had, from that point on, then I started getting mentors, and that led me along this amazing path.
That's fantastic. And with that, so since you're on the topic of finding mentors, you know, what sort of advice do you have for finding mentors? You know, how do you know? How does someone who's never had a mentor before, you know, maybe someone is in college or just finished college, or is planning to leave or whatever, or finishing high school, like someone who has no experience, or maybe just has a tiny bit of experience finding mentors, like how do you pick the right one?
Mm-hmm. So in the beginning of the game, you got to pay to play. You got to pay to play and look for the results that people are getting. For coaches, like it's coaches, mentors, programs that you're able to become a part of, you need to pay to play. A lot of people are trying to just get by, and you didn't do anything. You didn't add value to anyone or to any area of a life or anything. So start to pay to play. Start to get yourself in the game. Start to play in the game. Then you can evolve. Like one of my mentors is a billionaire. I never paid him, but I made myself valuable so I can receive his knowledge. And he saw the value that I had and what I'm able to bring to the table because I was able to develop myself. The first guy who I ever made an investment in was Tai Lopez. This was way before any of his hear my garage videos, any of that stuff. And he was a huge catalyst to where I am. I just want to give him a shout out. Huge catalyst to where I am and what I was able to become because of those first things that I went through with him and how I was able to be in closed rooms with him, me and him and like 5, 8, 10 other guys, and just really giving, he's the one who got me to go, you're into fitness. You've always been into fitness. Now let's take this step into the fitness game. Why are you not doing this? Take the step into training and see where this leads you. So pay to play in the beginning, commit to yourself. Mentally, emotionally, physically, commit financially as well. You need those 4 levels of commitment. Make that commitment, allow yourself to continue to evolve. And as you continue to step, you're going to continue to see greater and greater people are going to continue to come into your life. But back to finding the right person, look at results that they're getting as well. Don't just go with whatever's here, whatever's hot. Look at the results and invest in yourself first. There's programs, there's products. You can do this, social media marketing, this. But if you don't have the internal game right, you're going to continue to fall over and over and over again.
Man, that was amazing. That was a very powerful moment that you shared. So, obviously you have a lot of experience doing this. I have seen your videos. So you do a lot of videos and help people like in the gym and fitness. So 2 questions actually that come from that. Well, first, I just wanted to say this idea, actually, this isn't a question, but like, this idea that you talked about pay to play and how you were able to, add value to that billionaire's life. And, would you say that, or I guess it is a question, but would you say that, sometimes isn't always financial, but in order to find a mentor, you do have to pay with time and, energy sometimes? Like, is it possible to find a good mentor that, isn't like $10,000 an hour?
Oh, 100%. 100%. There's people in your life. Like, for example, when I was growing up, my uncle, he was an entrepreneur. So I was able to see the life. And that was something that I feel played a big role. Me being able to see the life that he was able to create for himself and his family by what he was doing, the entrepreneurship game. So there's gonna be people. Look for that. Seek that. Everyone can be a mentor to you. Ask the answers. Look for people. Add value. Someone that you want to learn from, go add value. Figure out a way to add value. But you need to allow yourself to get out of your comfort zone as well. You need to allow yourself to step into it. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to question yourself. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to go say, should I do it? Fear is time's best friend. The more time it takes you to do it, the more fear is going to continue to come up. So allow yourself to take the step. But yes, there's plenty of people out there. There's people everywhere that you can learn from. Work for someone and you start learning from them. You can do it everywhere, every step of the way.
That's excellent. Okay. So in terms of what you do and what you've been working on most recently, like in the past like year or two, you did Power and Purpose, and you have made a lot of like, you did mention you got into like the fitness space and you were teaching people there. And I've seen a lot of your videos that happen to take place in a gym, and, fitness is so important. So in terms of the entrepreneurship side, how does your mentorship, your fit into that realm? Of course, you've built successful businesses, but like, are you a fitness person or go ahead?
No, yeah, we have nothing to do with fitness here. I'm all about becoming the greatest version of myself. And this is a byproduct of when you actually do step with us. We work on the internal game. We help you master your internal game so you can master your income, your business, and your life. Fitness, that becomes a byproduct. Everything to make yourself better becomes a byproduct. I've been working out since I was in kindergarten, wrestling, and continuously from there. That's just a part of my life. Fitness is a part of my life, but the main thing that we go over is the internal game, mindset side of it, to allow you to evolve and expand. But you'll find yourself, if you've the things that are challenging to you right now, consistency is one of the biggest challenges that guys face. That right there, the only reason why you're not consistent is because you're not on the right frequency. You're not on and this is kind of getting a little woo-woo frequency, those type of terms, but you're not on the right frequency of the things that you desire to have. The things that you desire, the things that you need to do are right here, the things that you desire right here, and you're right here. You need to allow yourself to continue to evolve your frequency. Okay, now we're aligned with the things that I know I need to do. So they become automatic. Now you're taking the action. Now you're doing the work. Oh my God. Now you're able to receive the things that you're able to receive. So you're making these shifts and these internal transitions, which are allowing you to do this. You're not consistent because it's too hard or too much of a challenge. You're not consistent because you're not aligned with what it is that you desire to receive right now. You're doubting yourself. You're second guessing yourself. You don't believe it's possible. You're putting out the energy that isn't aligned with the energy that's required in order for you to get to where you desire to go.
Yeah, that was great. And and this concept of being at the right frequency, I think is so interesting because recently I subscribed to this magazine called The Rob Report. And basically, are you familiar with The Rob Report?
No.
So basically, it's just a big like QVC magazine for just like the most expensive things that exist on the planet, like $600,000 necklace, $1.2 million vacation for a week, things like that. And I, I, just thinking about that and being at the frequency, like there were things in that magazine that I couldn't even imagine existing. So I think it's so powerful that you're sharing this idea of like being at the frequency. And I'm not saying, everyone should want those things, but, to know that it's possible and not know it's possible. There's first of all, that huge gap that you're talking about. And then to reach that level to where you can, potentially even, be able to afford things like that, or to like build businesses for people who want those types of things, luxury-based business, you have to be at a certain frequency, as you say. So I think that what you're saying is so powerful right now, and it's really relevant to experience I recently had. So I totally appreciate that. And on another level here, you did mention this idea of like helping people get to the right frequency, having like the right type of purpose and everything. Can you share an example of when people are not aligned with what they're supposed to be doing, and like how changing your mindset can affect that?
Yeah, so I'll give an example just using myself. So when I first started the online fitness training business, I was online personal training. The most I made per month was $840, $840 per month, and nothing was hitting, nothing was working. I had so many doubts in myself, and I didn't believe that it was possible, right? I was second guessing myself. I didn't believe it was possible. I didn't believe I could make money doing it. Kept second guessing myself, kept second guessing myself. Started to look more into mindset and invest more into mindset. Me understanding the internal game, right? So things like affirmations, just to kind of give some practical things. Things like affirmations, you need to reprogram your mind and rewire your mind for success with the things that you desire to have. So it's the repetitive little things that are going to be extremely beneficial and create the greatest result for yourself. So things like affirmations, things like living as if, like you buy the magazine. This is when I am in this position, I'm going to be looking at this magazine. So why not do it now? Why not create it now? I used to go to open houses, multi-million-dollar houses when I was 20 years old. People would ask me, "Oh, what do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. It's got a coaching business." Like, "Oh, wow, it's really successful." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here." But you want to start living as if. So you want to start to get yourself. So don't look at these things as so far off. They're already here. Allow yourself, in the way that you know that they're already here, it becomes real in your mental world before it becomes real in your physical world. So you want to reprogram your mind and create a normal in your mind. This is my new normal. I know I'm going to be receiving these things. Affirmations, recordings that you're doing, listening to the recordings, put things up. You want to speak things into existence. You want to see things. You want to feel things. You want to experience things. You want to listen to things. You want it to be hitting you in all senses at all the time, all senses. So deprive yourself of the lack, deprive yourself of the scarcity, deprive yourself of the things that you don't want. And this is a part of the evolution. It's going to happen. It gets easier and easier. Deprive yourself of those things and allow yourself to take in what you truly do desire to receive, desire to hear, desire to have. Just make that a part of your life now.
All right. Amazing. Thank you. I'm so glad that you're on here, because like, not only do I feel like I'm learning so much, but also you've got these amazing ways of helping people just through these explanations. So it's great. And on the other side of this, so just to give some practical advice, you've shared so much of like the powerful and like I don't want to call it the science behind it, but like, but like a lot of like the I don't know what to call it, but the science behind it. Anyways, on the other side of that, what about like the practical? Like, what are some steps that someone could take? That's, let's just say someone is like, oh, they literally don't believe they can accomplish those things. They don't, haven't had a mentor yet, and they don't feel confident in spending even like an extra $2 for a coffee or something. They'd rather just make it at home all the time or something. So how do you go? What is like some simple shifts that you would advise someone like with that I guess disempowered of a mindset?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are some like simple steps that they
So,
could take?
so this can be as simple as you make it. Obviously, we have like a step-by-step process for this, but you need to step into the dark to receive the light. And that's something that so many people are so scared of. So many. And there's so many entrepreneurs who are very successful. I've been in the circle with all these guys who are scared to do it too. So that's why they don't talk about this stuff. but you need to step into the dark to receive the light. So looking at where you are right now, this is something that a lot of people don't do. They'll set goals, but they won't get clear on where they currently are. So looking at your facts, this is where I am right now. This is my life. This is where I am. This is where I am financially. This is where I am with my business. This is where I have been with my business. This is where I am with my relationships. This is where I am with my body. If you want to go into all sectors, if you want to just do business, great, do that, income business. But you want to look at that and really look at that and go, why am I here? Why am I here being? What are the beliefs that I currently have right now that are keeping me trapped? What are the stories that I'm telling myself? So if you had a goal to make $10,000 per month, for example, and you're only making $3,000 per month right now, what are my true internal beliefs that are keeping me where I am right now? Okay, great. These are the beliefs I have. Now let me make the shift to the beliefs I desire to receive. So making $10,000 per month is hard. Okay, great. That's your thought process. I can't do it. It's going to be a struggle. Okay. I make $10,000 per month with ease and simplicity. Now let's back that up with some proof, because we're putting it out there, but let's back it up with some proof. Let's look at others who have done it. Let's look at others who have gone from nothing and build their businesses. Let's look at this. So we're reprogramming and rewiring our subconscious mind. So you can get clear on where you are, get clear on the beliefs that you currently have. Step 2, get clear on the beliefs that are required in order to get you there. Step 3, look at proof, find proof for other people who are doing that. Affirm it to yourself, write it down, listen to it every single day, continue to reprogram your mind, and you will find your world around you starts to transform because your mind and your internal game is transforming.
Oh, wow, amazing. And here's why I was able to, I really believed what you were saying is this idea that, when I was talking about like the super disempowered person, this super disempowered person that doesn't even want to spend like an extra couple bucks on coffee or whatever, you went from that and you took it till it's like, that doesn't even register of like, of this idea that, you went straight to $10,000 a month, so that is your world. That is your reality. And, I felt that, and, I believed, and, some people I think who, make a lot of videos about this stuff, haven't really lived in that world that you seem to be sharing with us. So, to not even be able to have that mindset, I think is so powerful because, when you're able to share that mindset with someone who is disempowered, it helps to really shake up their thinking. This principle of, shaking up their world. Someone who's thinking about coffee. Well, look, the bigger problem is how do I go from 10,000 to 20,000? Think of that type of reality. So totally appreciate you sharing that. And, with that, this has been such a powerful episode, and I'm so glad to have had you on and to have you share such great advice and to be able to answer some of these questions, because I think a lot of these things go through, entrepreneurs' minds, or even people who are just trying to figure it out. And, to get this wisdom from you is great. It sounds like you've been through so many interesting experiences. So, very powerful. And, I want to thank you for jumping up. But if someone wants to reach out to you, what's the best way to learn more, hear more?
Beautiful. Before I dive into that, I just want to let everyone know it's going to be uncomfortable, right? The changes, the transformations, the things that you step into are going to be uncomfortable. The first investment I made in myself was $49. And I remember calling my mom going, should I do this? I don't know if I should do this. Should I do this? And she's like, I don't know. Like, do these things really ever work? I'm like, not really. I don't think so. Like, I haven't heard it working. And I hung up the phone. I said, fuck it. I'm doing it. And I committed to myself. And that led me down this path of incredible discovery and where I am today. If I didn't make that and I'm getting chills just saying it. If I didn't make that $9 investment myself, I'd probably still be washing cars right now. So it's going to be uncomfortable. It's always going to be uncomfortable. Every step that you continue to up level, it's going to be uncomfortable, but you're going to have an understanding of this uncomfortability and you're going to become one with it. But you got to get started where you are right now. So I definitely wanted to leave off with that. Where you can find me on Facebook, George Wohar IV. You can find me on Instagram, George Wohar IV. And if you want to see some results that we're getting, you can go to georgewohar.club/tests, TESTS. You'll see the results that the different guys are getting. And we have a free training as well. It's called the 4 Barriers training that you're able to go through.
That is amazing. And all of that will be in the description. Check that out, everybody. George Wohar. And with that, have a wonderful day.